Well, there you have it, everybody. I took my Telson TM 5-25 on a 308 nonetheless, with 168 grainers out to a mile, and then also with 175 grainers. And I'm really happy with this. It's incredibly windy. It's like go home windy right now. South Dakota is just always windy, and it's also really flat. And so it's a great place to go visit, to do some shooting. I don't want to burn out this E. Arthur Brown barrel, but I want to remind you, I did this with a 1 in 12 twist. This is not a 1 in 8 or a 1 in 10 even. It's a 1 in 12. So shooting those 168s, I think those were the most predictable, the most consistent. Although the 175s at 1240, when it wasn't windy, those were going like 4 for 5. They were very consistent. And I'm really happy with the performance of this whole setup. But I will tell you, and thank you to Anechoic for that can, which is probably, it's not too bad. Actually, I can touch it. Wow. Well, anyways, the Optic has been phenomenal. I told you guys in the actual review, when I did a rimfire review with it, that I know I can shoot this really far, and this is really far. The last couple days have been pretty decent conditions. Today has been the hardest conditions so far because of just optically, the fires in Canada have made it really, really cloudy. It's like insanely cloudy out. So much so that my spotter footage is difficult to operate with. Making sure I was actually filming the right targets when I was shooting. Yeah, it's made it difficult to see everything, but I have enough resolution out of this scope, and I have enough internal elevation and enough reticle to get me out to a mile. So one of the main things that I need in an optic is, even if I'm not going to shoot it really far all the time, I need enough internal elevation to do it when I ask of it. So there's two ways you can do that. You could try to do all reticle, which is kind of a fool's errand at the end of the day because of limitations with holdovers and obstructing your field of view, obstructing targets, and just not being able to see what's down there. So if you get too complicated of stadia and holdovers, it's just really, it's tough. It's really tough at these distances. And then you're backing off magnification so incredibly low that you need a spotter team. And I've done that too, but I'd prefer to be able to self-spot. And today I was able to self-spot. Yesterday I could spot for myself as well. One thing that I did need on this 308, because I am shooting it relatively far, is this Anarchyoutdoors it's a Savage 110 rail. It's a 30 MOA rail with a bubble level in the back or in the base. And because of the Anarchyoutdoors bubble level and scope base with a 30 MOA, that allowed me to get 21 mils out of just the turrets. I probably could have gone to 40 MOA, but 30 MOA is enough to keep this really comfortable for me all the time. I'm still optically centered at most of the distance as I shoot. I'm zeroed at 100 yards, and I can still get a really good image that's not milky. Out to really the extent that I went, up to 21, image was still really good. And then I started holding over quite a bit. And when you get to holding, you're dialing 21, you're holding another 14, 15, and when the wind was crazy, there was a point today where I held 12 mils of wind just to say that I could do it at a mile. That was pretty wild. 12 mils of wind. There's these little holes in the reticle, and I talked to a friend of mine who had something to do with that, and he was explaining, what the value of those are, and I wasn't exactly sure with rimfire how that would play out. I can't believe it. I actually used them today in two ways, both in holdover for extreme holdover, and then also in windage, and I've never done windage like that in my life. Usually if I get past like 7 or 8 mils for holding, it's so weird. It's awkward to look sideways like that for your eye. It's just not super comfortable. And so although I had it there and I could reference and see where it was landing, and I did it for a few shots just for fun, during those really harsh gusts, I started dialing, and then I started shooting in the lulls when I could. So trying to be practical, not trying to waste ammo, but for fun, I was able to see at 1780 some impacts with the Telson TM 5-25. Optically, this is a great scope. I'm really happy with it. Reticles matter a lot, and this one has a good reticle. Thank you to Telson for sending this out to the channel. I plan to do a lot more content with it in the future, but what I need to do next is more with the Toxin 3-18. I haven't done as much with that because I just got the new one in, and Mill and I'm excited to run that one out. If I had it, I would mount it on this rifle and shoot that right now as well, because it's a really great reticle and optic. But I think that one I'm going to do probably 1,000 yards and in my next review.